It's Sunday morning. Just come back from Morrison's, and I've also done the 2 cleans today. I got back from my car camping trip on Friday and wasn't feeling terribly well because of the heat and the dehydration and the not so great sleep. It kicked off one of the headaches that I get because of the menopause, and it got worse and worse as Friday afternoon became Friday evening and Friday night. I then had a really bad night Friday night because it was so hot. It was hard to sleep anyway. And then there was a bunch of kids hanging around out on the street from about 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. I have no idea why that happens, but it does. And that kept me awake because I've had to have the windows full open. You hear everything on the street. And it's really noisy around here. I'm not really good at sleeping in really noisy places, especially when the noise is unusual. So the car traffic and stuff you just get used to, but everything else tends to just wake you up. So Saturday morning was even worse. I could hardly move. The headache was horrific. I felt sick because the headache just creates this awful nausea. And I had no energy at all, and I spent the entire day on the sofa pretty much unable to move. I kind of catnapped my way through the day, couldn't eat anything. All I was doing was drinking water, but I must have been really dehydrated because I wasn't going to the toilet at all, even though I was drinking all this water. It was just being absorbed by my body. And the temperature Saturday was even worse than Friday. Although it wasn't sunny, it was incredibly muggy. So Saturday was a complete write-off. Normally I would have done my double clean on Saturday, and that wasn't going to happen for sure. I couldn't even walk. And then Saturday night at about 9 o'clock I felt it was going, and by the time I went to bed I felt relatively normal in some respects. And then I woke up this morning, the headache's gone, but I feel really tired and quite lightheaded and fragile. Oh, anyway, so I had to do the clean because it has to be done by the end of today. If I don't go this morning, I have to go this afternoon, and I wanted to go before the temperatures peaked. Although it's windy today, a lot cooler, which has been a real relief, although the flat still feels really hot because obviously it's a closed-in space, even though I've got all the windows open. And it has been raining on and off, and it's supposed to rain a lot more this afternoon, hopefully, because my poor plants outside are dying. All my buckets, I had some buckets with water in them when I went away, and completely evaporated in the 2.5 days I've been away. Anyway, so I'm back, but not feeling totally with it. So all the things that I wanted to get done this weekend haven't been done. Nothing's been done. I just haven't been able to. I'll get some stuff done this afternoon. One thing I need to do, I desperately need to colour this. You can't really see it on the camera, it doesn't show up, but this is really white. I think you can see that. And obviously my fringe needs a trim, and I wanted to do that yesterday and that didn't happen, and I feel like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. I'm absolutely roasting. It's just too hot. I can't cope with it. I'm just so glad that the temperatures are going to drop the next week and we're going to get a lot of rain. Anyway, so I've managed to get those 2 jobs done. It's out the way. And I've been to Morrison's. I wasn't going to go, and then because I was only over the road for my cleaning jobs, I thought I need to go. So I spent a total of £5.35, but £1 wasn't grocery, like food. So I'm going to talk you through what I've got. So there was loads more of those naans that I've bought before. These were £1.85 down to 74p. I've got a pack of 2 of those. Those will go in the freezer. And the same with these wraps. These were £1.75 down to 53p. 6 in a pack. They're big wraps, so. Mushrooms, I got some mushrooms. These were £1 down to 75p. Don't want to bother with that. Oh, pasta. These dried pastas, I like these. Haven't had one of these in years. Used to love having these. This was £2.25. Now, I used to buy these a lot, and I'm sure they were at least £1 cheaper than that. £2.25 down to 68p. There's a a couple of meals in there at least. And they have more broccoli, so I bought 3 of those. I'm going to put these ones in the freezer. This was 79p down to 55p, and I bought 3 of those. And then the thing that I bought that wasn't a grocery thing, and I've bought this because of sheer laziness, is one of these cockpit sponges for your car to shine the inside of your car. I never clean the inside of my car. It never happens. And it's because I'm lazy. And I don't care enough. But I thought if I have this in the car, I will actually do the dash, because instead of having to get a cloth, get the polish or whatever from in here, if that is in the car, if I'm sitting there in the car because I'm waiting to go into a clean, I've arrived 5 minutes early, I can have a little go with the old the cleaning brush, so that's good. So that was that. So I shall put up there the usual, what I would have spent if I bought it full price, what I would have spent, what I've saved by buying it on yellow stickers, and I'm now going to go and do something else because I can't even string a sentence together. It's ridiculous. So that's the beginning of this video. Speak to you soon. Bye bye. It's Monday morning and I'm just getting back into normal routine really. Sunday. So that last post was Sunday morning. Still wasn't feeling quite right. Wasn't too bad during the day. I picked up a bit during the day, and then in the evening the headache came back, which it often does that. I'll have a day after it's gone, and then in the evening it'll suddenly come back for a bit and then it'll go again. So it came back for a few hours and then it went. But in the evening, and I don't know how, I've put my back out. So my back really hurts. It's not a trapped nerve. It's like I've pulled a muscle across my back. I have no idea. What else? Oh, and then this morning I've got up and I've done something to my ankle. It feels like a trapped nerve or a trapped ligament in my ankle. And many years ago, I had an accident and pulled, ripped, did whatever to a ligament in my ankle. And I'm pretty sure it was the right foot, and it's always clicked ever since. And I don't know if it's connected to that. I don't know what's going on. I am absolutely falling apart this week, I tell you. I dyed and cut my hair yesterday, so the awful greyness has now, the problem is it's erratic greyness. There's a big patch at the front where my fringe is, and down the middle line, which goes completely white. It's not even like it's just grey, it's white, and the rest of my hair isn't. So I dyed it, but I focused on the top bit and then blended the rest, and I think I might have overdone it. I don't know. It looks a bit too dark on top, and I haven't really done the bottom, but it'll fade quick enough. It always does. So yeah, I'm actually back to normal again now, which is nice. Apart from my back and my ankle hurting, and I woke up early this morning. I've been waking up earlier quite a lot lately, so I woke up an hour earlier than normal. I thought I'll get on with stuff, so I've been doing a lot of crafting and stuff, because obviously I've lost 3 days, and then the weekend wasn't so great. I wasn't really able to deal with it, and there's no point in trying to craft and enjoy your crafting when you don't feel up to it. So I left it and I started doing it this morning, and I've done loads this morning. So I'm playing catch up there, which is fine, great, no problem. And what else? I don't know. It's really windy today, and do you know, I've never been so relieved for the temperatures to drop, and I feel like I'm still in recovery from that. I feel like I am still really thirsty. I still feel quite dehydrated and really off my food, which I'm going to take as a plus because I eat too much. So I had a little bit of leftover food from my car camping trip on Friday. What did I have Saturday? I didn't even have lunch on Saturday. I just kind of grazed on some of the snack things that were left in the fridge that again were left over. And what did I have last night? I had the final bit of the pasta from the car camping trip, but just wasn't in the mood for it. I've been eating that blooming pesto pasta for like 5 days, and I binned the rest of it. I just couldn't face it anymore, and I don't like wasting food, but I just couldn't face it. And that's really all I had. And then this morning I've had some cereal or banana because I won't be around for normal lunch, but honestly I don't fancy it. I've gone right off tea, like drinking tea. I haven't had any tea since I got back until this morning, and I put it in my thermos cup as I always do because it'll keep hot for hours, and I drunk about 4 or 5 sips about 20 minutes before I came out, and all I've been drinking really is water, so I'm still out of sorts for definite. Really weird. So maybe I did get a little bit of sunstroke and what have you. Who knows? It was really, really hot. And Saturday was really hot. That didn't help. Sunday was cooler, and that was great. I had all the windows open. I dressed as lightly as I could, and I just really loved the cold temperature, which is unusual for me. And then this morning it's about 18, but it's really windy, so it feels colder than it really is, and it's been lovely. I've really enjoyed it. So I don't know, I think I would be happy if the off my food thing lasts for a while, because I could do with eating less, but I don't suppose it will last. It's not the usual me. But I had a better night's sleep last night. I had some really weird dreams though. Very odd. But yeah, back to normal. And now I've got to get cracking with editing the videos from that car camping. It takes ages because there's probably like 3 videos worth. It takes a while to get it all shipshape and add all the extra information on the screen and all the facts and figures and all the other little bits and pieces. And I've got so much to do. I've got today's clean now. I've got one tomorrow morning. I've got a Wednesday clean, a Wednesday evening clean. Still got all these crafting things to finish. I sold something else on my Shopify store. I sold 2 things on my Shopify store on Saturday evening. So, and I didn't do those yesterday. I was not great yesterday. So I will do those when I get back from the clean today, and I'll get them posted out by the end of today. So that's good. I've had a really good month. It's my second best month this year, which isn't saying a lot, but it's good, and I hope this is an upwards trajectory. I'm seeing that people are buying they're coming from places like Google now. They're not just coming from YouTube, because my Shopify analytics show me where people have come from, which is really helpful. And my stuff's all over Google Shopping and things like that. So the system works. Shopify is really good at integrating, like you can add all those things in. And if I had enough followers on my YouTube, I could set up a YouTube connection to my shop, but I can't do that because I'm not monetized yet. You have to be monetized for that, so that's not happening. But you've got they have all the links below in all my channels, because you never know who's watching, who might be your next customer. Oh dear. Quite a rainy week. I've got a hike that I want to do to find another lost village near a reservoir. So I'm going to save that for a day when I get better weather. It's not going to be this week. It's a wet one this week, which is good because everything's been so dry. Boy, have we needed the water. I'm suddenly so tired. I wasn't like until I got in the car. It's a bit warm in the car. I've had a real aversion to the heat the last couple of days since I got back. Been really uncomfortable. Really struggling with it. I'm never going car camping in that kind of heat again. I didn't imagine it would be that hot, and in fact the temperatures that it was saying, it was hotter than that. It was definitely hotter than that, because 24 degrees isn't really that hot for me. There's no way that it was 24 degrees when I was out there. It was much hotter than that. It really breaks up the routine when you go away, so I'm doing this run as I normally do on a Monday, and it feels like ages since I've done this, and yet it was the same time last week. So it's when you take yourself out of your normal routine, it just breaks everything up a bit, which is why I like doing those trips, because it just breaks everything up, you know, gives you something to look forward to. And that's why I like the hiking days as well. It just has that one day just to take you out of your routine, out of your normal space, and give you a chance to experience something different. All things that I love. I haven't done a hike in ages, actually. Perfect parking, look at that. I've got my little cockpit cleaner. Bought vanilla one. Smells quite nice. So I'm going to give my car a bit of a shine because I am 6 minutes early. The dust in my car is horrific, and I am really, really bad for looking after my car. It really, I mean, it gets all the proper, you know, safety and everything. It never skips an MOT or a tyre change or anything like that. But I am really bad at the basic, you know, hoovering it out, keeping it clean. It's really badly looked after. This car has been my workhorse for 13 years. This car used to transport me on multiple house moves, and often had chickens in the back of it because I used to keep chickens. And when I went away on holiday, my parents would look after the chickens, but that would mean me taking the chickens down to them from wherever I was living at the time. So there were always chickens and chicken coops flat packed in the back. They got really good at travelling, my girls. Miss them, I tell you. Anyway, not what I can do about that now. So yeah, this car has lived a busy life. Hopefully there's many more to come. Right, I have a shiny interior. Looks very nice. Don't you look good? Much better. How often you get treated like that, is it? Anyway. Oh, it's so dusty. It does shine though. Lovely. I still have 4 minutes to go. Right, we'll keep that in there. Much better. I've come up with a new strategy for dealing with things that I can't control, but I wish I could. So let's take a really simple, easy one. The problem with all the rubbish that keeps accumulating outside. So you might remember, like over a few posts last month, I think, how someone dumped a load of rubbish out on the street at the back, and over the course of 5 weeks the pile grew and grew and grew, and eventually I managed to get the council to come and take it away. And literally the same evening, they'd come in the afternoon, it was about 1:30, 2 o'clock, they turned up, they dealt with all the rubbish, they took it all away. By the end of the day, someone had dumped a load more. And I went outside and dealt with it, because it was just, you don't want to be looking at that every day. It's horrible. We have rats, foxes, all sorts, and so the bags get ripped open and this rubbish ends up everywhere. So I was going out there and dealing with it, and 2 or 3 times a week I'd be out there disposing of bags that people had dumped in the street. And then last week, over the weekend, one of the flats dumped a load more out there, and I saw them come out and kind of look at it, because the bin men hadn't taken it and they were kind of conflabbing over what to do about it. And then suddenly, the day before the bin men were due, it all disappeared. So I'm presuming they came out and dealt with it, because I can't imagine anyone else would. I didn't go out there, I refused to do it. And then the same evening, so the bins are starting to go out there, and 5 or 6 new bins, black sacks appeared, just dumped on the street. And I thought, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this anymore. So those bags are now sitting there. The bin men have now been and have removed the bins from around the black sacks and have left all the black sacks there. So that's now going to sit there for however long, because I don't suppose anyone will come and pick it up. And instead of me going out there and dealing with it, because the problem is, if I deal with it, that means other people don't have to deal with it. And it's kind of like the council said when I messaged them, and they said they try not to come around and deal with it because they hope that people will learn their lesson and do it themselves. But of course people don't, because they're stupid, because they're selfish, because they don't understand community, and they don't want to be a part of that, and they don't care about community. A lot of the people who live where I live don't come from the area, as I don't. They're not there for very long. They might be there for a year or two. They have no vested interest in looking after the area, so they don't. And this happens a lot. And so this rubbish is now sitting there, and I'm not going to deal with it. And instead, I'm going to watch and see if the chaos ensues, and see how bad it gets. And it's like looking at things like politics. I mean, everything in politics is utter chaos, is an utter mess at the moment. And instead of worrying about it, and I don't really worry about politics, it is what it is, no one cares what I think, I can't do anything about it. But instead of doing that, I'm just going to sit there and wallow in watching as things get worse and worse, until it reaches a point where somebody does something about it, somebody who can do something about it. Now, in the instance with the rubbish, it would be the person who's dumped it going out there and taking responsibility for it and doing it. I don't know that's going to happen. Or anyone dealing with it. On and off, I've dealt with the rubbish issues out there ever since I moved in. It's been an absolute nightmare, because people are filthy animals and they just don't care. They couldn't give a monkey's what anyone else has to put up with as a result of their actions. And this is part of this breakdown in society, that people are selfish. Not everybody, there are lots of people who do care, but there are a lot of selfish people out there. There are a lot of people out there who have no standards, who don't care, who are quite happy to live in the middle of a landfill, have no pride, lazy, just gross individuals. And if you live in a really nice, posh, fancy, nice area where everyone takes responsibility, you probably won't even know this is going on. But if you, like me, you live somewhere where people take no pride in where they live. Some people do, as I said, but a lot of them don't, because I see a lot of this going on. And it's constant. This is the problem. It's not like it happens once every 6 months. It's every blooming week you're dealing with someone else who doesn't know how to put a black sack in a wheelie bin. Constant. And it's horrible when you're looking out your window at that. So, I am going to sit here and revel. Oh, the bin men are here. That's, I'm going in there. That's alright, you're right, no. Wow, you came quickly this time. Do you know what? These people drive me nuts. I have to look at that outside my kitchen window. Do you know what? Well, there was a load of it that was there a week ago, and then a few nights ago somebody came and took it away, and I thought, great, they've dealt with it. And then literally the night people started putting their bins out, someone's gone and dumped a load of all of that.
Yeah.
This bin's been sat here for weeks, that black one.
Yeah.
I think the problem is these people in here.
These.
They don't seem to have any bins. I don't think they understand, because every week they put their bins on the thing, and they were standing out there looking at it all the other day and having a conversation about it. So I don't know. I'm just going to pull in here. Bin men are here. So that was interesting. Got back, bin men are the things here, they're already taking away those bags. We're on their hit list now, I guess. Nightmare. Today I have decided to bake a cake. Don't know what's going on with my hair either. I haven't baked a cake in ages. I don't have any dessert foods in because I just can't be bothered to go to Morrison's. I should have gone Tuesday and I didn't go. Then I should have gone yesterday because I was in that direction anyway and I still didn't go. So I may go this evening. I'm not really running low on anything, but I now have an urge to make a cake because I have loads of half packets of fruit which really need using. And I haven't baked in ages, so why not? Today's Thursday, so I'm now at leisure. All my cleans are finished until the weekend, which is great. And I've been playing catch up because I've had lots of craft stuff to get on with, lots of stuff that's kind of half done. And I want to get to a point of everything finished because I have 2 commissions. One is for a friend of mine, making her 2 tops. Which I need to have done before I next go to my parents' because she lives down that way and I'll deliver them then. And then I also have a complicated dress alteration project which I'm doing by post, which is a slight challenge when you don't have the person there, but it's helpful if the person can give you all the information you need. So I think this one will be fine. It's just quite complicated in terms of how much adjustment it needs. So I want to get all my little craft things done so that everything's out the way, so that I'm not worried about, oh, I've got to finish that yet, I've still got to do this. And I can just focus on those 2 projects for the next couple of weeks. Probably won't even be that, always over budget time-wise, which is good because it's income, and income's been better this month. Some stuff has not been so good, like YouTube is not good at the moment at all. And I know that's largely because I'm not posting as many videos. Just don't have as much to say at the moment. I'm also really busy editing those videos from my trip to Ulverston and Barrow-in-Furness and all around that way. First video is up at the time of me recording this, and I'm just editing the second one. Each video is over an hour long, and it's a lot of work because there's a lot of editing out to do because I just press play on the camera and then I just edit afterwards. So I record everything and then I edit down. And there's also lots of information I want to include. So there's lots of history of the towns, of the churchyards, of the genealogy that I'm researching. So I have to go back and double do all of that. So it takes, I don't know, let's say it takes 3 days to edit one video. And it's a lot. It's a lot of work. So I'm doing that as well. I was editing until like 10 o'clock last night. Anyway, so I've just broken for a minute to make this cake. Getting close to lunchtime. I've not been making my normal lunches this week at all. I've just been doing really light stuff. I've not been snacking in between meals. My appetite is way down still. And I'm using that as a reset, because when I get into the habit of eating less and not snacking, I find it easy to hang on to. But when I weaken and I give way, and then it increases and it increases, and that's when I run into problems. So I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that I'm not eating that much at the moment and not feeling it. I still feel, in that respect, out of sorts after my trip. It's really strange. Anyway, I'm taking that as an advantage. So I'm going to make this cake anyway, because I don't have any dessert stuff in at all apart from a bunch of bananas. And I haven't made a cake in ages, so I'm going to get on and do that. You've seen me make cakes before. I'll show you what it looks like at the end. It'll be lovely. It's always lovely. And then I shall do lunch. I'm going to do more of a proper lunch today, just because I have veg that I need to use and stuff's just not getting used as it should be. So I'm going to get on with that. Yeah, that's Thursday. It was sunny this morning and now it looks like it's about to tip down. This evening. I didn't go Tuesday or Wednesday, so I thought I'll go Thursday. No point in going Friday because they'll have everything in Friday evening for Saturday. And I didn't go in with any expectations, and if I'd come out with nothing at all, I'd have been fine about that. As it was, I did end up coming out with a few things, but I'm still like really off my food. I've used it as a reset opportunity. So I've been like having lunch and dinner, but I've not been cooking up like my main meal at lunchtime as I usually do. I just got really bored of that. And it's like this weird reset thing happened since Friday. And I've not been snacking, which is really, really good thing. Just not that fast. Haven't got any dessert stuff. I've made that cake, so that'll keep me going for a bit. Anyway, so I went in with no expectations, not expecting to come out with anything. And as it was, there weren't any of the kind of nasty junk food options like the donuts and things that I would normally have bought. And I kind of walked around thinking, nah, we'll see if there's anything there. Anyway, I ended up spending £2.60. And I'm really shocked by some of the prices. So, two simple things I got. A couple of romaine lettuce hearts. These were £1.09 down to 22p. But there's also a crunchy slaw kit, which is like a salad with a dressing thing on it. I quite like these, and the weather's really hot and I'm really not into cooking hot food at the moment. So this tomorrow would be really nice for lunch with one of the two things I've just bought. Now, there's a lot of deli meats in the reduced chilled counter today. I am absolutely gobsmacked at the prices. So this is roast turkey breast. There's maybe 7 slices and it's thin slices. This was £5.42 down to £1.09, and it says keep refrigerated. I mean, I've frozen cooked turkey and stuff like that before, so I'm probably going to freeze that because I don't have much of those sorts of meats in at the moment. And there was also a Scottish roast beef one, which was £5.04 down to £1.01, and again it's only like 5 or 6 thin slices. So expensive, and that's all I bought. So that's the lot. I will probably go again on Sunday morning like usual, but that's it really. So that will do, and I'll do the usual, put the information up there about what I say, what I would have spent. I can't get my words out today. What I would have spent if I bought it all full price, which is going to be a lot considering the price of those meats, and then what I've saved by buying it on yellow stickers. So I'll stick that up there. And that's the end of Thursday. I have been mostly editing videos from my car camping trip. There's a lot of work involved in these because I record everything and then trim it down, but then I also need to add all the facts and figures and historical information and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot of work. So I'm just processing the final edit on my part 2 of that. Part 1 is already up, and it'll probably all be up by the time you see this one anyway. Just been outside to pick my potatoes, which I planted earlier in the year. They were supermarket potatoes, so you know you don't expect much from them, but didn't too bad actually. Got a few out of that. It doesn't look much if you're a hardened allotment grower. This probably looks absolutely pathetic, but I enjoy it, and you know it was pretty much free potatoes because they were the ones that had sprouted in the bag, so I put them in, and yeah, all right with that. I'll probably let a few more sprout and do one, see if I can get one last load in for this year. Got chatting to my upstairs neighbour outside who is moving next year when his contract runs out. He's had an inheritance, or is in the process of getting an inheritance, and he can afford to buy a house outright. Lucky so-and-so's now shopping for houses. So jealous. He's going to get to leave, and he's going to get to own a property, like actually own it, not mortgage it, actually own it, which is insane. I'm so jealous. All right for some, isn't it? Although it's an inheritance, so somebody had to die for them to get that. But it's between him and another relative they've inherited. So he's going to be off next March. going to find out in August whether this is going to be my last year here. I always get nervous about this time because I'm like, oh God, how much is the rent going to go up this year? And it's always £75 a month when the renewal comes through after a year. But this might be the last year I can afford it. Really working on my income at the moment in terms of trying to cultivate my business a bit more and make more income. It doesn't have to tip the balance that much. It's, you know, it's the equivalent of, if I can make an extra £75 a month more, then the rent theoretically kind of stays the same. But yes, we're going to have to see how we get on with that. It's always in the back of my mind until I know I've seen the new contract come through. So we'll see. That will come through probably in August, because they usually send it through a couple of months before it's due. And then I'll know what I'm doing. I've budgeted for it going up £75 a month from October. So that will mean from October, as long as it only goes up that amount, then for the next year until October next year, I'm okay. But it's what happens after that that's the thing. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.